Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Krzysztof Mierkiewicz, and I'm head of the unit in the Department of Public-Private Partnership in Polish Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy. First of all, on behalf of our department and our ministry, I would like to thank the Central Finance and Contracting Agency in Latvia for the invitation to this conference. We, as the department, are really happy that the idea, the issue of blended project is alive, that you are analyzing it, and that you want to hear about our experiences in Poland. I am glad that we can share them and share our experience and tell you what we did in the last 10, 12 years on the issue of blended projects. First of all, before I will go in deep blended projects, as I mentioned, I will explain where our department is located. We are located in the Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy. So this is the Polish ministry responsible for EU funds in Poland. So first of all, cohesion policy, lately Recovery and Resilience Facility, Connecting Europe Facility, and all other funds, EU funds. Considering the blended projects, this is a great location for us because we are close to the managing authorities of the EU funds. Our department, in accordance to Polish law, is a central PPP unit in Poland, and our task is to implement the government policy for development of the PPPs. And this September, Polish government adopted a new policy for the PPPs with perspective to 2030, so for the next seven years. Our areas of activity as a central PPP unit are support for projects mainly, legislation, PPP market monitoring, blended projects, and training promotion of training for project promoters and promotion of PPP formula. Now I would like to briefly describe what is our department's offer, what do we do, and what support do we provide. First of all, we provide direct support to project promoters, so consultancy, advisory, preliminary analysis, and PPP opinion. I will just explain this. We have such a possibility to analyze and then provide a formal opinion of the ministry on the project based on the preliminary analysis sent to us by project promoters. So this is some kind of a certificate, ministry certificate about projects, about the idea of the project, and we give this certificate. We acknowledge that the project is structured well. PPP test, this is something specific in Poland, and in accordance to our law, every public investment worth more than circa about 120 million euro has to analyze and prove that they exclude PPP. Yeah, so and we check this test. So if you are a public body and want to finance a big investment with public money, you have to check whether it wouldn't be better to implement it under PPP. Yeah, we prepare some reference materials as well. For our indirect support, mainly we focus on contracting external advisors. So our ministry engages external advisors who support public entity from project preparation to the selection of private partner and even to the financial closure of the project. The scope of this consultancy, of this advisory, includes legal, financial, and technical issues, and is agreed with the project promoter. Finally, we also aim to develop and disseminate guidelines, recommendations, and good practices on PPPs. So there is a big number of publications of guidelines, as you can see, that we provide. One of the most interesting things is e-learning that provides a basic information on PPP. Okay. So let's get to the point and blended projects. What is a blended project? Here on this diagram, you can see a simple explanation. So we have a public-private partnership and EU funding, and this gives us a blended project. As you know, there are regulations on blended projects, both in the EU law and in Polish law. In common provisions regulations of the EU, so regulation number 2021-1060, blended projects are simply called PPP operation. In order to avoid confusion and in line with practice of the European PPP Expertise Center, so the EPEC, we call such projects blended projects, but I want to underline that in Poland, in both working contacts and in our law, we call such projects hybrid projects. So like a hybrid engine that works on different energy sources. So blended projects are hybrid projects in Poland. Okay, and our activities on blended projects. In the 2021-2027 financial perspective, we undertake various actions to increase the number of blended projects. We focus mainly on regional programs under the cohesion policy because our studies show that the planned projects are mainly small and therefore not eligible for national programs that support only big projects. Of course, we do not exclude supporting the blended projects under national programs, but they are not our main target. As you can see, we have succeeded in establishing preferences for blended projects in contracts for all 16 of the Polish regional programs. So Poland is divided into voivodeships, so there are 16 of them, and each voivodeship has a regional program, and each local government has to sign an agreement with our minister, so the Minister for EU funds and regional regional policy, sorry, to gain access to the EU funds. And this contract stipulates how this money should be spent. And then there in these regional contracts, we have put preferences for blended projects. So if the local government under the regional program wants to spend the money, they have to put some preferences for the blended projects. And these preferences are additional points in the calls, special allocations for blended projects, so calls only for blended projects, and preferential conditions for repayable financing. What is more, we hired PPP consultants in every of the 16 regional or close or not close, but in managing authorities of all of the 16 regional programs. And then these consultants provide, they are our first contact points with the promoters, and they are especially responsible for promotion of blended projects, and they are, as I said, close to projects conceptions, close to project promoters, and at the same time they are close to the managing authorities, but they are hired by us and work in the regions. Okay, we are in constant cooperations with the managing authorities of 16 regional programs, of course with the national as well, but as I said, we focus mainly on regional. And our cooperation with these managing authorities help us to consult the selection criteria for blended projects, and we want the criteria for the calls to reflect those preferences from the contracts. We consult with the managing authorities the timing of the calls, because we know what projects are and how many projects are prepared, and we try to correlate them so that the call is when the projects are ready to apply for the funding. We have provided the managing authorities with a model grant agreement for a blended project, or model or a sample grant agreement. We are constantly working on removing barriers for the blended projects, such as a demand from the managing authority that before you apply for the EU funding for a blended projects, you have a PPP agreement. This is a barrier, so we signal this to managing authorities. Okay, and we have developed parameters preferential for financial instruments for blended projects, mainly EPC projects. Of course, as I said earlier, we support potential projects of the project promoters by identifying projects for support. The scope of our support is the same as I mentioned earlier. So this is either direct support or indirect. We help with contacts with the managing authorities. So these are like three-party meetings where there is a promoter, managing authority, and us. We provide consulting support, as I mentioned earlier, legal, technical, financial. The first support for the promoter is by the PPP consultants at info points, and what is the most important? We provide preliminary project costing, so the promoter knows if, for example, for how much EU funding he has to apply. And now for our latest activity, this year we have started a new consulting offer tailored to blended projects in the energy efficiency sector, so especially the EPC formula projects, including projects financed under financial instruments under EU funds. So we have contracted an external advisor who, in close cooperation with us and the managing authority, is conducting a vast spectrum of support services for blended project promoters. And we plan that this support will be conducted in 4 stages. At stage 1, our advisor will prepare a template of analysis on PPP effectiveness. So this is the analysis that gives you the answer whether the PPP is optimal to implement the project. And this template includes both the descriptive part and the interactive financial model for the project. What is more, the descriptive part is going to be correlated with the EU support application form. So the burden for the promoter to apply for EU funds is going to be significantly lower. And adding to that, we have agreed with the managing authorities that they will not expect the promoters to provide the feasibility study for a project that use our template. So you don't have to put this to apply and send to the managing authority both the analysis and additionally a feasibility study. Okay, so this analysis gives you then an answer to the question whether PPP or EPC is optimal, and it's the basis for preparing an application for funding. When this template is going to be ready, our advisor, along with us, we are conducting trainings for potential project promoters on how to use this template and prepare an analysis. Then project promoters will prepare their analysis and have individual meetings with our advisor to consult what they have prepared. And at the last stage, it's something like additional support. So there is a margin for other activities that we have not yet specified. Okay, so now some statistics on PPPs in Poland from 2007 till 2022-23. Blended projects are being implemented in Poland successfully since the financial perspective 2007-2013. In 2007-2013 financial perspective, there weren't dedicated regulations or even definitions of blended projects in the EU regulations. So we had to manage differently and base our actions on the institution of so-called entity authorized to incur eligible expenses, but there still were blended projects. So far, blended projects were mainly large or very large scale, and now this is changing. As you can see, average project value was around 50 million euros, and I can tell you that one of the biggest EU projects in history was waste incineration in Poznań in Poland. This is a PPP project in the 2007-2013 perspective. So this was a huge investment, and if I remember it well, it was like something about I mean the capex, the investment costs about 300 million euro. Okay, our statistics say that 72% of projects in the financial perspective 2014-2020 were blended projects in energy efficiency sector. And now some best practices about on blended projects. First of all, our first blended projects in the 2014-2020 financial perspective is an energy efficiency project in the city of Zgierz. As you can see, the project included comprehensive thermomodernization of 24 educational buildings. As you can see, the project value wasn't so big, and the co-financing rate was 67%. You have the link on the slide for more information on the project. There is a video, unfortunately only in Polish, about the project that shows the perspective of both the project promoter and the managing authority. Another example of the project, street lighting in the municipality of Radzionków in Poland. Low-scale project, because as you can see, it's just 1.3 million euro worth. And for more information, I'll leave a contact link here. What is important, you have to remember that due to European Commission policy in this financial perspective, street lighting can only be financed under, at least in Poland, maybe in Latvia it's different, but in Poland it can only be financed under financial instruments, so only repayable funding. Because European Commission thinks, and it's not wrong, that such projects have so huge energy savings that they can be financed, that they shouldn't be financed with grants. Sorry. Okay, some more examples of projects. Please notice that the difference in the scale of the projects. Here you have a project for 1.2 million euro, other projects for nearly 120 million euro, and other project for 3.7 million. Okay, so for the plans on blended projects, our plan is to constantly search for projects and conduct surveys to find projects that we could support in our database that is available on our website ppp.gov.pl. We have 54 planned PPP projects, so blended and not blended projects, but as you can see, 100% of energy efficiency project intend to apply for EU funding. And as for the energy efficiency project, as you can see, in November 2022, we conducted a survey on EPC projects, so energy efficiency plant investments, and we found out that there are the market for such projects is really huge. It's about 2,600 potential projects. As I said, here you have an address of our website. The part of the website is in English, but as you can guess, all of the materials are mainly in Polish. For materials in English on PPPs, I can direct you to the EPEX, so European PPP Expertise Center. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me and our team on PPP. Here you have our email address. Once more, I would like to thank the Latvian agency for the invitation. Many thanks to all of you for your attention, and I wish you good luck.
Krzysztofs, paldies. Paldies Krzysztofam par mazo pieredzi. Man tomēr jāiziet mazliet vismaz par diagonāli, bet viens laba lieta, mums ir radušies hibrīda projekti pēc Polijas. Paldies, Mārtiņ. PPP departaments ir Polijas Fondu un Reģionālās politikas ministrijas struktūrvienība, kas veic PPP tiesību aktu izstrādi, standartizētas dokumentācijas izstrādi, projektu uzraudzību, PPP un Eiropas fondu projektu apvienošanu, PPP projektu popularizēšanu 6 vojvodistēs, kā arī nodrošina konsultācijas apmācības PPP jomā. Var sakot, tā kā mēs te darām, visticamāk. PPP likuma paredz PPP un Eiropas fondu apvienotos projektus. Visos projektos, kur izmaksas ir 120 miljonu eiro un vairāk, ir jāpierāda ministrijai, ka PPP konkrētā gadījumā nav piemērots instruments. Plānotajos apvienotajos PPP un Eiropas fondu projektos ministrija nodrošina atvieglojums projektiem, ja projektiem ir izstrādāti finanšu ekonomiskie aprēķini, par kuriem ministrija iesniegus savu certifikātu. Projektu iesniegumu veidlapa Eiropas Savienības fondu projektos nav jāiesniedz. PPP konsultantus visos 16 reģionālajos Eiropas Savienības fondu infopunktos. Tā ka te mums ir vēl kur augt, tas ir nopērts savu menedžeri. Pastāvīga sadarbība ar reģionu vadošajām iestādēm, apvienojamo projektu meklēšanu, šķēršļu noņemšanu projektu apvienošanai. No 2007. gada līdz 2022. gadam tika īstenot vairāk nekā 30 apvienotie projekti, kur vidējā projekta vērtība ir 50 miljonu eiro. 72% projektu īstenot energoefektivitātes jomā. Tas ir 2014. 2020. gada Eiropas Savienības fondu plānošanas periodā. 21. 27. gada plānošanas periodā plānoti 54 PPP projekti. No tiem 60 ir plānoti kā apvienotie projekti ar Eiropas Savienības fondu finansējumu. Turklāt visos energoefektivitātes PPP projektos ir plānots izmantot Eiropas Savienības fondu finansējumu. Lai izdodās mums Latvijā, tas ir ārkārtīgi iedvesmojoši, un prezentācijā ir iekļauti vairāk hiperlinki par Polijā īstenotiem apvienotiem PPP un Eiropas Savienības fondu projektiem, kā arī pēdējā slaidā ir ievietota PPP departamenta kontakti. Vēlreiz atgādinu, ka pilnīgi visas prezentācijas, kas šodien šeit ir parādītas, jau, manuprāt, šobrīd atrodas CFLA mājaslapā internetā. Tā ka droši varat tur apskatīt.